Well, as promised, here's the video to my teaser I dropped the other day. Stay tuned. Hi guys, Media Dad. As promised, here it is. April Fool's Day, 1986. Now, this is a dear treasure to me. I thought I'd lost it. I couldn't find it up there, but I went through the bags and I managed to actually find it. Now, this one is completely unique. So, anyone who watches the channel, if you remember, back in the 90s, you couldn't go online and find things that you wanted to find. You know, pop on eBay, you know, find it, pay a tenner, 15 quid, whatever, and then within a few days it's on your doorstep. Well, back in the 90s, you had to do research. Now, I remember growing up as a kid, this used to air on, I think, BBC One all the time. And I only cottoned on at some point in the 90s when I realised some of the swear words were cut. Predominantly the start of the movie where they're doing a little video montage and he's going around with a camera and he's getting their reactions and she says some inappropriate things about what she does on the first date. That was cut. So, naturally, I wanted to find a copy. Now, all the local video shops around the area where I live didn't have any. Couldn't find it anywhere. But I suppose it was past the rental stage back then. So, I managed to find, I think, probably the Yellow Pages, someplace up north that dealt with Ex-Rental VHSs and stuff like that. I rang them up. They had a copy. And then me, probably being about 11 years old, 10, 11, 12, whatever, went to my nan and said, "Nan, I really want this. Can you please, you know." So she rang them up, gave her her credit card details and all that over the phone. And then within a few days, a week, whatever, I had this land on my doorstep. Now this is, I think this is a 1988 copy. Let me check. Well, 1986, we know. This is a very basic one. Anyway, this is I'm pretty sure this is like a 1988 rental copy. Now, this is, the case in itself is actually in really good condition. But this is the big box Ex-Rental case from the late 80s. Now, I've done some things to this over the years that I can't quite remember because I was only about 12 or 13 at the time when I got this, but I've done some things to this. I've lightly trimmed using a guillotine around the edges because it had frayed edges, but not really missed anything out. So that's the back. Sorry about the glare. So this is the 1987-88 CIC video release of April Fool's Day, Ex-Rental copy. Now this was actually in quite poor condition, quality-wise, because I think it had been played to death when I got it. And I also remember, and Media Dad has indeed been at it again with labelling. Just take the tape out for a second. I'll get to the tape in a moment and what I've actually done to it. So I've written things in there. Now that was a snippet from like a movie book that you could get. Had to cut it out. The picture quality on this tape is not too bad. It is actually quite grainy and bad, but I think that adds to the nostalgia of the VHS tape. This is a very good movie, 5 stars. And this was pre-label printing. This is before I had the label printer. And then there's the snippet here that I've cut out of a magazine or a photocopy that I've put in there. I don't know why. This just adds to my personal nostalgia for it. But anyway, yes. So, big box, Ex-Rental. Now, let's move on to the tape that I am not proud about. Again, I said this the other day. Had I known then what I know now, I would not have done this. So this is the cassette tape. Now this one, you can probably see that label looks a little bit suspect. Now, I don't know what happened. I think, if I remember rightly, the original CIC label had come off. And I don't know what's happened to the original label, but I do remember I photocopied the label and stuck on a new label. Also, the cassette casing isn't a genuine CIC. I think they were put on the, I could never pronounce this properly, BASF tapes. BASF. I call it BASF. Tapes, which I think had like a brown flap on the top of the cartridge. The tape inside, however, is the original genuine Ex-Rental tape. So what I'd gone and done is I'd removed the screws, because I think it was just in a, I remember it had a cracked window, and I didn't like the cracked window on it. So I thought, well, I had an old tape laying around. So I removed the screws, carefully took out the actual inserts of the cassette tape, transferred them into another one. So I'd have a nice, clean looking VHS tape. The label's been lost in the world at some point. I'd had photocopied it, stuck it on, probably with bloody Pritt stick, knowing me. Another little label there that I'd added on. Yeah, but, you know, I've, in my infinite wisdom as a child, I have damaged this. I mean, it plays absolutely fine. Still, it works as it should. The internal cassette tape there is genuine, but what I hadn't known back then is that I've ruined it by getting rid of the old cassette tape. Losing the label, God knows what happened to it, but yeah, I'd photocopied that in colour, cut it out and stuck it on, and then added my own little a relatively new, oh, see, there it goes. That's hard. That's actually quite, and it's yellowed on the back as well. That's just come off of my hands. I'll try not to lose this one, but yeah, had I known then what I know now, I wouldn't have touched it. So I'm going to I'll tell you what I love about these old big box VHS tapes is they've got the inserts there. So you can just, I'll just remove the label a minute so it doesn't, I don't lose it. But yeah, you just pop it in and it just holds it in place. So it's not rattling around. But yeah, this one was, I mean, I've got it playing there in the background. I loved this movie growing up as a kid. If the tape wasn't already worn out, I wore it out. But I absolutely love this. Hi-fi stereo, mono compatible. I'm going blind in my old age. Yeah, but Ex-Rental, big box copy, April Fool's Day. I'm just going to take the sleeve out because there's something I want to look at. Because that there is a sticky label. Now this is definitely not, I'm almost certain, I shouldn't be. Oh no, it is under there. Yeah, this is definitely not a preset, because if you remember the old Paramounts, there was no BBFC in the 18 there. It's just like a red. Wait for it. Shit. Oh, I do love this movie. I sat down and watched it with the kids. God, probably 8, 9 years ago. My daughter, she loved it. Anyway, right, I'm going to quickly swap round now. I'm going to pop it in the machine. We just have a quick look at the quality. Okay, as you can see, it says that it's a genuine first generation copy, manufactured by or on behalf of CIC with the approval of CIC. Sort of lost track of myself there. It's actually got previews on it, because obviously it's Ex-Rental. They always put previews. So we've got a little trailer here for Beverly Hills Cop 2. Johnny Wishbone come running. Love Eddie Murphy as well. Okay. Let's skip to a part of the movie. You know what, I actually take it back. The quality actually isn't that bad. I mean, you can see you've got some, you know, white staticky lines going across it. But it is extremely watchable. 4:3 aspect ratio, not the one we're used to. Probably just a stereo soundtrack, not the 5.1 we're used to nowadays. But the quality, actually, for an Ex-Rental tape that was probably played to death by hundreds of people before I got it, it's not actually that bad. Collar up, collar down. Tom Wilson, fabulous actor. Loved him in Back to the Future. Well, I didn't love him in Back to the Future, he was a dick, but in this one, he's actually very, very comical. Anyway, guys, I'm going to call it quits there. I've taken up way too much of your time already. Please drop your comments down in the comments below. I would love to read some comments, love to answer any questions you might have. Also, please drop a like and a sub if you enjoy this sort of content. Again, I've got hundreds. I actually confuse myself on what video I can do next. But it's been a pleasure showcasing this old Ex-Rental late 80s tape to you. I could just sit here and watch this. And you know what? I might actually sit down and watch it, since it's playing all right. Anyway, guys, as usual, I've been Media Dad. I will definitely catch you in the next one. So, Media Dad, out.